Okay, Dion is in now.
I am in the house. Thank you.
All right. Cool, just on time.
So yeah, I'd like to get things kicked off. I'm really excited to have Rehack here representing Metaverse Land. It's a super exciting new Metaverse project, and they've also had some really good success recently as a collaborator in getting Fanta Bears deployed. So I like to turn it over to Rehack a little bit to introduce more about the Metaland and also what Matrix World and what makes them unique and different from what's already out there, like Sandbox, Decentraland, what people already know.
Thank you, Dion. Thanks for having me. It's nice to be on here. So my name is Rehack or Kyle, if you are in the Matrix World Discord. I am the CMO of Matrix Labs, so focusing on the marketing, building community, and since October. So our main project is a Metaverse project of Matrix World. Matrix Labs is a group behind that. We want to do some more partnerships in the NFT and Web3 space. The one most of you have probably seen, it took up, was Fanta Bear. Matrix Labs was the technical. Everybody slapping Metaverse. And difference. How are you guys different from Decentraland, from Sandbox, from any of that? Why should I join your Metaverse? And we actually have an interesting take. So most of these other metaverses are single chain projects, right? And single chain causes a lot of fragmentation. It splits up the different markets. It splits up the users, right? And it has a lot of disadvantages for not only the users, but also the creators. So we wanted to solve this problem, right? And we want to bring a new level of interoperability to the metaverse. We want to offer new features. All right, am I clear now? Sorry about that. So we want to bring more interoperability to the metaverse, right? We want to connect these markets. We want creators to be able to reach more people, and we want users to be able to interact with more creators. So multi-chain is what we see as the best solution to that. Right now, we currently support the Flow chain and the Ethereum network, but we do plan to add a lot more networks soon. We just had our pre-sale back in October, November. We sold out 5,000 lands on Flow, 5,000 on Ethereum. And since then, we have just been building. We're in the pre-alpha stage. We should have a demo coming out within the next few weeks here. Within the next month or so. So that's kind of a little background.
So when we were talking a little bit earlier, you also talked about how you guys are able to allow developers to build and develop on the blockchain and interact with the blockchain natively from your metaverse without having to go through a Web2 interface. Could you speak on that a little bit?
Yeah, of course, I'd love to. So all objects will be programmable in Matrix World. Turing complete. So just limited by your imagination. For example, if you are a flow creator, then you could have a Uniswap ATM in your shop. The users, ETH users could come in, they can interact with the ATM, they can get some flow, they can go to your marketplace and buy things. We want to remove this friction. In Sandbox, a flow creator needs to send the users out of the metaverse onto Web 2 to use Uniswap, to use their website. We want to keep that all in world. So it's a more immersive experience for the players. And because of the programmability, you'll be able to build multi-chain dApps, whether it's games, marketplaces, whatever you really imagine. So we'll be able to connect to multiple chains and external services from within the world.
That's super cool. I mean, I've played around in Decentraland and, go to the casino and then I click a button and then it takes me to a web page and I'm like, well, that totally just like ruined the illusion for me. So,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that'd be dope.
yeah. We're really trying to work on that to make that a little better for the users.
So in terms of roadmap, I was wondering if you could take me through what is the current game plan.
Yeah, of course. So Q4 21 was focused mainly on that pre-sale. Now that that is behind us, the focus of this quarter is getting our first demo build up and running, along with building this multi-chain identity system. So this identity system will manage your different wallets when you are in the world. You will have one identity in the metaverse, and say you interact with a flow contract. The identity system will know to take your Blockdo wallet or your Flow wallet and use that to access, right? Now you interact with an Ethereum smart contract or external service, then the identity system will know to grab your ETH wallet. So this should all happen behind the scenes and make it pretty seamless for the user. So they don't really notice it's going on too much. So focusing on getting the demo up and running, building the alpha, and really the main dev focus in the alpha is that multi-chain identity system, getting that fleshed out. Then moving on to Q2, this is when we hope to release the actual full alpha of the game. So it should be a traversable world. We want the core applications operational in the world, and the space virtual machine that has the compute resources for people's lands that should be running, and we'll be doing some closed beta testing for the SDK and API for the SVM, the space virtual machines. So hopefully Q2 will have that alpha going. After that, we're going to focus on building the coder and builder tools for the world, right? So that's going to be the big focus going into Q3. We want to create tools that make it easy for anyone to build and develop their land, right? Even if they don't have dev experience, we want to have these easy to use editors that can kind of help them with the process. They can even buy like blueprint templates, things like that, to kind of automate the process even. So Q3 will be focusing on that, getting these tools up and running to really empower creators, especially the ones that don't have as much dev knowledge. And then we want to release kind of the beta version in Q4, which will have these tools in it, right? And then moving into 2023, that's when we want to launch the third version, the Matrix World 3.0.
Very exciting. Do you guys plan on having some sort of coin economy as well?
So we get asked this a lot. That's a good question. So this is something we are definitely considering. Right now, we don't have any concrete plans for a token. I know a lot of our users want us to implement a token now, but we feel it's best to wait until a token is required for its utility. We don't want a token that's just being used for speculative, like pump and dump investing. Um, so we will consider a token when the time is right, when there's a need for it, when there's utility, right? Maybe it's needed for our in-game marketplace or something like this.
Very cool. So I'll ask one more question and then open up the floor to the community. But could you talk a little bit about the dev team? Sort of, what you
Yeah,
guys are working on, how big the team is. That would be great
yeah,
to just know a little bit more about who's behind the project.
yeah, of course. I'll go into the background here. So pretty experienced team. The core team is made up of like hardcore devs, right? Not a bunch of marketers or anything like that. Um, so the core team met back in 2017 through the Ethereum ecosystem, and it was a group of like students, tutors, and even some professors in some prestigious Canadian universities like University of British Columbia, University of Alberta, Dalhousie, Waterloo. So that's when they met. Just, like I said, devs, geeks at heart, loving the Ethereum ecosystem, trying to contribute in that. Back then in 2017, they actually met some of the core members of the Dapper Labs team back around the CryptoKitties time. And that really kicked off their interest in kind of the gaming side, the NFT side of crypto. They developed a few of their own blockchain games. Right, one of the members, Ling, developed a game called Cell Evolution, which actually won like a creativity award at a Neo game development competition, and that was kind of the start, right, the kickoff. So we all know what happened after the 2017 bull run. We went into a really long, harsh bear market, right? And during this time, the members of the Matrix Labs team met with some of the White Matrix team and decided to team up to kind of help them build Chain IDE. So Chain IDE, it's one of our core partners. Chain IDE is a developer environment. It's cloud-based and it's multi-chain. And the idea behind this project is to make it easier and more accessible for blockchain developers to help bring people from Web 2 into the Web 3 ecosystem and to grow that. So our team always wanted to grow the ecosystem, to support it, to develop it. They thought this was a great match. So they teamed up and they helped with the Chain IDE development, which has been very successful. I think it's compiled over 8.5 million smart contracts now and more than 70 million blockchain middleware flows. So that was kind of the focus back in 2018, just working on that going forward. And then in 2019, also did some, 2018, 2019, the team also did some research, right? Through the professors, through the members that were still in university, like our CSO Alvin, he's pursuing his doctorate right now, his PhD. So we have a couple published papers, right? One is called an interoperable avatar framework across multiple blockchains, multiple games and blockchains. So this was back in 2018. The team was already working on researching and studying multi-chain applications for game development with reference to the blockchain. So that got into some top-ranked computer conferences and was actually kind of the team's first successful implementation of multi-chain, cross-chain technology, right? The paper kind of demonstrates and actualizes, cross-game battles and information synchronization between three blockchain games. Another nice paper we had is Metaverse for Social Good by Professor Wei Tsai. So this is a metaverse prototype, trying to apply the metaverse in a way that actually is socially it's helpful socially, right? This was a university build, a metaverse university, where they recreated a one-to-one of a university and made it an online metaverse, and it was tokenized in interesting ways, right? For example, if you're in the library, you could stake or lock your phone to earn some tokens, and those tokens could be spent in the university campus in real world as well. So some really cool applications of trying to see how we can use the metaverse to kind of improve people's lives and to have a positive social impact. So this is some of the background of the research of the developers, and in 2020 they just decided, let's get together, let's make our own world, let's put our expertise, our knowledge, our research together to make something. So they worked on that, and that came out mid-year 2021 as Matrix World. Another thing the team really likes to do to give back is to host a lot of events like developer boot camps and metaverse boot camps online. These are usually free, and we've hosted events online that target, Pakistan, Africa, Asia, all over the world, to kind of grow these developer ecosystems there.
Cool. So it sounds like a very experienced team. Been around in the space for, I guess what in crypto world is ages. So that's exciting. I mean, it sounds like they got a very promising set of experience there to build this out. I'd like to open this up now to the audience for people to ask any questions they might have. So yeah, if anybody wants to raise their hands.
Yeah, any questions, go ahead and raise your hand, and we will pull you up as a speaker.
We can talk about Matrix World. We can talk about NFTs in general, crypto. It's pretty open forum here, whatever people want to talk about.
But yeah, while we wait to see if anyone raises their hand, I think that's just one important thing to understand about the team. They just really at heart are kind of blockchain geeks, right? They want to grow the ecosystem. They want to support the users and creators. And that's kind of one of the big things behind Matrix World is, we want to make a metaverse that's better, that helps the users, right? That gives them more power for creators, for users. Let's see. I see a hand raised. Okay, there we go. Another hand. I'll get you guys here.
So what's your plan on your next round of land selling?
Do you have a question about the land selling, the land sales?
Yeah, that's my question. Because I think people are interested in on your land vouchers.
Okay, good question. So, with the land vouchers, our pre-sale has finished, and we currently don't have any plans for another sale. So the only way to get them right now is through the secondary market. Let's see a couple others. Let me bring you guys up. Yeah, so secondary market is the best way right now. We have not decided a hard cap on lands quite yet because we think it's very important to get the right amount. We will always make the choice that is best for the landowners, best for Matrix World. But we feel if there are too few lands, this will turn users away. At the same time, we know if there are too many lands, this will dilute the value. So we're trying to strike a nice balance here, and that's why we don't have a hard cap yet. We're happy with the amount of lands for now, but if we see a massive, massive influx of users and we feel the supply is holding Matrix World from growing further and adding more value, then we might consider another sale. Yeah, Buddha.
Cool. Buddha.
Hey, appreciate the talk, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I have two questions. First one's really, I'm a Fanta Bear maxi. I
Right
just love
on.
the idea. I love the idea of, ultimately seeing more and more adoption across the globe of NFTs. When you look at kind of the space and that have been involved, it's so heavily influenced by those in maybe Europe and across North America. Just maybe, is there anything that you see as like the beginning of greater partnerships across kind of the rest of the globe? And then my second question is more about you as like the chief marketing officer and kind of your experience of what you've seen as very effective in terms of marketing as other folks, have their own projects as well.
Yeah, great questions. So as far as partnerships and bringing in other areas, yes, this is something we are very open to. We knew Jay Cho was very big in Asia, but we never expected this type of success when we teamed up with Ezek and Fantasy to bring this project to life. So we will keep collaborating with them, and I think Ezek has plans to try and partner with some other artists as well. So yeah, we definitely want to keep partnering with artists in Asia and other areas because, as you said, in the past, the NFT space especially has been kind of dominated by Europe and the Americas. So it's cool to see Asia jumping on, and we've actually got a lot of strong partnerships, a really strong following in Japan and Korea. So we'd love to develop that further. Now, as far as marketing, yeah, that's really interesting that you bring that up. So I think one thing we really want to focus on, our big focus here is going to be building the Matrix Labs brand, right? We want to build this brand up to be a respected name in the space. We want to do innovative things. We want to give back, build helpful tools, and participate in more projects just like Fanta Bear. So we can build up this Matrix Labs team, this reputation, this brand, and we want Matrix World to be at the center of that brand. So the landowners and the participants can benefit from the growth of Matrix Labs. For example, if we do more partnerships, they can get whitelist, or we can bring those partners into the metaverse to kind of build an ecosystem around this. So I'd say that's going to be our big focus, building strong partnerships. We're already working on looking for some more. We're hoping we can get some more strong partnerships out in Q1. We're just talking with people behind the scenes, some other teams. So talking, with Flow and Dapper, they're our partners. They've been helping us out a lot. So we're talking with some projects on Flow, and we really want to help grow that ecosystem, but also reaching to people who are maybe outside of the NFT space that we can bring into it, kind of like we did with this Fanta Bear project.
Very cool. That's exciting. I'll be looking forward to seeing what other new collaborations you guys come out with. I think we have a few other speakers.
Yeah, I got a couple questions.
Yeah.
Big fan of the project. Been trying to read everything I can find about the project, and I'm a landowner as well, and just trying to be really excited about the project and trying to tell everyone about it. You guys are like the best hidden secret right now. My question for you is a couple questions. First of all, I saw in the Discord today you talked a little bit about releasing, your beta project, and you were going to do some research on trying to get some dates for us. I don't know if that came through. And then the second part of this is I'm noticing some other NFTs showing up on OpenSea. Are any of those legitly part of Matrix World? Like I'm seeing these hats and these like kind of spacesuit kind of looking hats, like a lot of hat wear.
Yeah, so
and then also on Flow too, I'm seeing like these cards. Maybe you can tell me a little bit about what the dynamics of all these other pieces are and why I would want them.
yeah, great question. So we do have some sets. I'll throw the links in the Discord for the official collections. But these are some of the airdrops, like the early access airdrops. You're right, it's some headwear, some avatar accessories. We also have some NFTs, the giveaway NFTs that claim should start today, hopefully sometime soon after this space. So these are just some early access avatar collectibles, but we also want to try and add some utility to these in the future, make them more than just a hat, but maybe almost like a pass. We're still discussing exactly how we want to implement them too, but something to where the holders have some extra benefits, some extra access, whether it's to a giveaway or events or alpha or something like this. We also have the code blocks, the cards you mentioned on Flow. So these are going to be functional NFTs inside of Matrix World. So using a code block should give you, I think the idea is to give you some, like a robot companion with some sort of functionality depending on the code block. I'll talk with the devs. I'll see if we can get an article out about those soon to really dig into kind of the detail of the functionalities of the different codes. And those can be used by anyone in the world. You don't have to be a landowner to make use of the code blocks.
Really exciting. Thank you for your time. And like I said, I've been listening to everything Alvin's been doing. Seems brilliant, and we're really excited to see what's happening with this 100-plot land with Dapper Labs. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on with that?
Yeah, so Dapper and Flow both bought lands. I think they each bought 108 lands, but I believe they may be split up. I'm not sure if they're all in one single plot. So the idea behind this is they want to build headquarters in our metaverse. We're actually developing the Flow headquarters right now. That is going to be the first demo space that gets released. That is what they're doing. I believe the Flow headquarters is being built on one of their 6x6 plots that they own. So in the coming weeks, we should start having some like little gameplay clips and maybe even a live stream session where you can watch us kind of run around in the demo build. And we're hoping to have that open to some of the landowners for them to actually enter and experience within, the next month or so, depending on how the dev goes.
I'm going to take up everyone's time, but I have one last question, which is there an advantage of buying, either the Flow land or the ETH land? And maybe you can give me an example of why.
Okay, yeah, good question. So honestly, no. In World, they're going to be exactly the same as far as what you can do and their functionality. I guess any advantages would be maybe outside of the world, such as the volume, the extra volume that we see on the Ethereum chain. We've seen. Sorry, am I breaking up there? But yeah. So with Ethereum, there's some extra volume on that chain, but in world, they're essentially exactly the same. The other side of it is the location, right? So flow projects are probably going to be mainly headquartered in the flow land. Ethereum projects in the Ethereum land. So if you're trying to get a land maybe next to a big project, it might be beneficial to be on that project's chain.
Thank you for your time. Looking forward to seeing what's going on, and obviously a big follower of you as well. And thanks for posting.
Oh yeah, thank you for coming. I see you supporting us all the time on Twitter and in the Discord. So thanks for that.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
All right. Let's see, Wilson or Sammy. Did you have a question?
I'm not sure if Wilson. I just have a quick question because you spoke about the tokenomics and matrix. So the amount of partners make an economy of tokens not dependent to the partners, yeah? Because I assume that one of the object of bringing big partners in the matrix land maybe with transaction to those partners or some sort of a marketplace. So the economy of matrix is not dependent, or tokenomic of matrix is not dependent on partners and the economy of the partners which comes into the matrix.
Yeah, so if we release a token, I think one good thing to know is we are going to develop our own marketplace in the world where users can, trade items, trade things, trade a blueprint they make for a building. So that could be a potential application for a native token if we make it. Kind of like sand is used or mana, But it won't be dependent on the partners. We want to build our own in-game ecosystem. And that's the main reason we don't want to release a token at this point, is because right now there just wouldn't be any real use for it.
Yeah. I was just looking from a perspective, for example, if I open, for example, an NFT marketplace in the Matrix 4, in the game, then will I be, for example, trading with the layer 1, for example, Flow or ETH, or will I be dependent on a future Matrix token?
No, you can use Flow or ETH because it's programmable, because it's multi-chain. You can build a dApp and a marketplace that connects to OpenSea. You can build your own marketplace that runs on whatever token you want. So this is the beauty of the multi-chain. It's going to give creators and users more options, right? You can connect to external services. You can make your very own marketplace. So whichever you'd prefer.
Yeah, and I got that, because if it's programmable, it's up to the owner to decide how to want to treat that.
Yep. So if you want it on ETH, if you want it on Flow, that's all possible.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, good question. Thank you for coming. Let's see, Wilson. So you're up here as a speaker. Do you have any questions? Anything you want to ask?
All right. Well, while we're waiting, I think there are, you obviously have some loyal followers here in this Twitter space, but I think there's a lot of people who are just learning about Matrix World, and is it too late to get in? The price has appreciated to some extent. Is it too late because we've missed out on certain airdrops? Are there more coming down the pipeline? Let us know. And how does
Yeah.
get involved?
Yeah, so that's great. No, definitely not too late. I mean, we're still in pre-alpha. Anybody here is early, like very early. Yeah, the land has appreciated, but you can still enjoy the metaverse, the world, without owning land. I mean, the first thing would be to get in our Discord. That's where we update everybody, let them know what's going on. But In the future, there will be some benefits to being like a landowner. The plan there is to give some exclusive like giveaways, whitelist. We're talking with partners about giving our users some access to like a beta version of their application. So there will be benefits to holding land, but it's not required. And you guys are all still early. You can still get in and participate, join the space.
Awesome, that's great.
I see some people with Flovatars, and you guys were kind of talking about that too on your site. Are Flovatars going to be used as any type of avatar in the game? Are you allowed to talk about that?
So we do plan to talk with all of these big projects on Flow. We don't have anything concrete for Flovatar yet, but it's definitely something we want to talk with all of these big projects on Flow, like Flovatar. Ballers is a big one we want to work something with. Maybe hoodlums if they're interested. So we do plan to have more than just one option for the avatar down the road. At first, we're just going to focus on getting our Matrix World avatars, functioning, working in the world, and then we'll consider trying to bring in some other projects as well. But we really love the Flow ecosystem. We've seen a crazy amount of support from everybody on Flow, and we really want to show our appreciation for that, give back to that. I think this can make some really cool opportunities as far as like Metaverse is considered. Think about sports. With Flow, we've got NBA, NFL, UFC, like all of the big sporting leagues. They're on Flow, and we're directly partnered with them. This could make this like the Metaverse for sports down the road. So some cool things. We definitely plan to partner closely and try to integrate these projects into Matrix World.
It sounds like to me you guys are potentially going to release your own avatar, and I'm not trying to pry, but I don't know what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say. Are there any kind of, I guess, deadlines or future dates of maybe if that was going to happen?
Yeah. So our first like 5 or 6 demo avatars should be out within the next couple weeks, I'd say. So you guys should be getting a look at those very soon. I dropped a couple sneak peeks of one of the avatars on the Twitter. Kind of a blurry picture, but yeah, you should be seeing those within the coming next 1-2 weeks.
I see Eddie just showed up. I've been looking at the map and I noticed recognized his photo. It's very cool. Anybody who hasn't been to the site, and I'm just a holder because I've got interest in the project. I don't get paid from them, but I have to say it's one of the most interactive maps. I've been spending tons of time trying to figure out who people are, and the answer is I just love the way it's being done. I love the 3D modeling, and I think you've given a lot of room for expression on there, and I just want to say thank you.
Thanks for the support. We're just trying to give back and make a cool space that all of the users can enjoy. Let's see. I think we just had another. Oh, yeah. Dion, go ahead.
Yeah. So, you mentioned Flow a lot. I'm not that familiar personally. I'm sure there could be people in the audience who are also new to it. So it'd be great to kind of talk a little bit about why you guys chose Flow, what is unique about it, and
So Flow is an awesome blockchain network. If you haven't looked into it, I suggest you do that right away. Flow is a blockchain network created by Dapper Labs. And the most exciting thing, no gas. So you're not spending $100, $200, $300 when you're trading NFTs. You're spending pennies, if even, to trade and transact. So that's one of the biggest, I'd say, advantages of Flow. They're building something that's just better for the users, right? They're building something to try and break down that cost barrier. And another thing the Flow ecosystem has done is they've done an excellent job with their partnerships. So most of the professional sporting leagues are actually on Flow. So let me pull up a list so I can make sure I don't miss anyone big, but talk about some of their partners. So the NBA is an official Flow partner. They've got NBA Top Shot. That's the biggest project on Flow right now. UFC, Samsung, Ubisoft, Animoca, Warner Music Group, right? The NFL, Dr. Seuss. They've got some huge names partnered with them. They're doing some great things, and it's still really, really early for this blockchain, so a really good time to get in.
Do they have a native coin of their own? Do they do DeFi, or is it NFTs only?
Yeah, they have a native coin, the Flow token. And I believe, let me go on Flowverse. They are still just building everything out. Like they just had the first DAOs start coming to Flow, start building tools. Let me go to the projects here. I believe they do have, yeah, they have some DeFi projects going on. You know, Blockdo, Swap, Mantle Finance, NFT-Fi. So they have DeFi, they have exchanges being built, games, NFTs, avatar projects, fashion projects, DAOs, a little bit of everything. But the main token is called Flow.
Got it. Very cool. I'll definitely be looking into that.
And Flow also has partners or ownership with Dapper Labs, and they're all NBA Top Shots and CryptoKitties and everybody else down the line. They're one of the originators of NFTs.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this chain is going to be huge in the future.
So are you going to Near regarding the multi-chain?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Regarding the multi-chain, right? Are you going to Near? Because 3 Arrow just invested in lot, yeah.
So as far as multi-chain, we don't have a concrete list of what other chains we are going to add yet, but we are going to be bringing on more and more chains as time goes on. You know, I think some of the obvious ones to consider would be like BSC or Sol or AVAX or Tezos. Some of these chains are probably in consideration because they have their ecosystems pretty developed. But we're very open. We want to make this as interoperable as possible.
Hi, I want to know what are the plans for renting out your land in the future?
Yeah, good question. So we don't have the very, very specifics yet on like renting, how that would work, but it is something we are heavily considering. We want users to have multiple ways to monetize and to use their lands, and yeah, I don't see why any reason we would ignore renting. It's just not the focus at this stage of the development. Right now, we're just trying to focus on the core infrastructure of the project, and then we'll kind of dig deeper into those areas as we get a little further along. But definitely something we're open to. I think something that will likely happen.
Okay, thank you. And
Yeah.
another question is, how are the avatars going to be traveling around? Are they going to teleport or
Yeah, so
a vehicle? I saw the preview of like a craft on the.
Yeah. So we're playing around with that and experimenting right now in the demo builds. Yeah, we have a craft that can actually fly in the demo build that we've been playing with. So we're trying to see what works best. I imagine we'll have some form of teleporting to make it convenient, but we're also considering if we want some other fun ways to get around, like vehicles, if it would be just ground-based, if we would also allow flying vehicles, also maybe some sort of like in-game transportation system. I don't know if you're familiar with MMOs, but for example, World of Warcraft has their, flight path system where you can talk to someone and they'll fly you to the spot. You can get a nice view along the way. Maybe implement something like that for fun. You can kind of have a drone that will fly you to another space and you can get an aerial view. So we're exploring, but probably multiple ways to get around. I'm guessing teleport will be included just to make it convenient for users.
Not to jump in again, but I also noticed that you guys put basically naming conventions. So it looks like we're going to be able to assign some type of domain name. I'm a Twitter whore, so I apologize, guys. I troll everything and try to read as much as I can. I'm pretty excited. But it looks like we're going to be able to attach some type of naming conventions, so that way we'll have some type of dot whatever, and we'll be able to kind of drill into our lands, is what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. We're working on like a space name server to make it easier for people to find and link their spaces. So it's easier for you to share it, for people to get to it. So yeah, that's something that will be incorporated. Good catch.
So I've got a question regarding those so people are we talk a lot about for those GameFis and those metaverse, a lot of people like Monaco, they selling NFTs like the ships. So on story wise, how to differentiate Matrix world from others? Like is there anything interesting or anything different in Matrix world that attract more people to get in? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So as a world, we're more focused on kind of the open metaverse concept, like you see in Decentraland. So not so much as far as a core story behind it, like a core narrative driving the gameplay aspect. More of just an open world where people can create and build and make their own stories. So the things we're focusing on to attract more users is one, just being more usable, being more interoperable, providing these benefits to users and creators through the multi-chain tech, through the programmability, through the editors that make it easier for people without experience to create. So we hope to attract people in that sense by providing them a good product, an easy to use project. And the other side of that will be by trying to bring in some big partners, some big names. We're partnered with Flow. We'd love to make like a cool sports district or something like that, bring some of these sports projects into our metaverse to attract sports fans. We had that partnership with Fanta Bear. Having a clubhouse with them could be huge, could attract users into our metaverse.
Yes, and like you said, narrative wise, I'm imagining something interesting. Like if there is one day there's an alien that arrived Matrix world, what's gonna happen? I think it will create traffic.
Yeah, that's fun. We're actually we want to have a little contest in probably sometime this month. It's actually based on that, like a little narrative short story contest where people can kind of make up their own story. What is their story in Matrix World? Who is their avatar? How did they get there? But yeah, I think we really want the users to kind of make their own story, tell their own story.
Yeah,
and build the world.
The story context sounds interesting. Yeah.
Thank you.
It also looked like to me like you're potentially putting out some type of device that would allow me to import my NFTs and create them into kind of almost a 3D module. Does that sound about right, or am I making this up?
No, that's right. We do want to allow users to import their NFTs. I don't know if we'll automatically be able to make something 2D into 3D, but like if you've got a 3D model, for example, like My Pet Hooligans, that's a project I'm involved in, collector there. They give the users 3D models, or something like Cybercoms. Then we want to give users the ability to import that, or say they have just a flat 2D NFT, an audio NFT, a video NFT. We want them to be able to import this into the game, into the world, and then they can make that into an object. And through the code editor, right? They can edit this object. They can put interactivity into it, code behind it. You have some 3D avatar NFTs. You can program a mini game with them. You can make it like a little kind of companion or AI that walks around in your space or interacts with people. So there will be some sort of possibilities in relation to that, but I don't know if we'll be able to do anything like automatically generating a 3D model. I think that's a bit of a stretch as far as capabilities. So I think a model, if you don't have a 3D model, you'd have to kind of sculpt that yourself in the model editor. Cool. Oh, I see Claymore. Oh, all right. Like
Hi.
to see you here. Yes.
Hi, my name's Eric. So I'm the creator of the Party Goops on Flow blockchain.
No way. Right on.
Yeah, so we're like a smaller PFP project
Yeah, I know
compared
you
to the
guys.
wallet community. All right, nice. So right now, as you all kind of briefly touched on earlier, the price of land has gone up, and while we're kind of excited, I'm really curious to know about the capabilities of when we want. My dev team and I are debating on building like a club on Matrix land.
Mm-hmm.
So would we be able to build like a limited club where only party goobers could access the
Yeah.
facility?
Yeah, you should be able to do that. I think that's core functionality that's needed where you can have like exclusive clubs. I'll have to talk with the devs on that as far as if they've started anything along those lines or what their kind of specific plans are for that. But I think that's something we have to incorporate.
Okay, because that's something that was really interesting to me because we're trying to build this online club experience.
Mm-hmm.
And something about that has to have some exclusivity to it.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then on top of that, actually, I just lost it. So yeah, I was really excited. Yes, my second question was, do you have any plans for incorporating VR into the mix?
That's something we are exploring.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's something we are exploring. Of course, first we want to get the core metaverse out and make sure everything is smooth with that. But yeah, VR is definitely something we want to explore once we have that core functionality down.
All right. Makes sense. And I'll give the floor to someone else, but I'm super excited about your project, and I hope that the Party Goobs will build an awesome mansion on there in the future.
Yeah, that's awesome. You can find me in our Discord if you have any questions or just want to, chat a little bit more about that.
We will. All right, man.
Awesome. Thanks.
Later.
See ya. Let's see. Claymore.
Oh, hey, thank you for inviting me up. I appreciate it very, very much.
So nice to see you here.
It's good to see you as well. And Eric, good to hear your voice, man. I don't know how you're still away. I don't know what time it is in Germany, but and Basic Beast I see here. I love Stabby. If you know, you know. But so my question is about the like cross chain stuff. Like obviously you're part of Flowverse, right? And the codes and the land can be bought with Flow, but you can also buy the land and I assume the codes with ETH. So like what are the like the cross chain stuff, because I think it would be cool to have, like ETH and Flow and I don't know, some, I don't know, even Sol if you want to get weird. All in the same place. So I was just curious about what the like cross chain capabilities of Matrix land is going to be about. Matrix world, pardon me.
That's all right. Yeah, that's a really good question, a really good thing to talk about. So our first focus is multi-chain. So it will all be one world. It doesn't matter if you have Flow land, ETH land, no difference when you're in the world. Pretty much the idea behind this is we want one identity, and this identity will be tied to, you can hook it up to multiple wallets, right? And when you're in the world, say you interact with a Flow smart contract, that identity system will know to grab your Flow wallet and to use that to interact. And then you go over to an Ethereum application and you interact with that